Now, JP Morgan became the latest firm to move a lot of their assets from London to Frankfurt. I'm going to talk about this on today's video. Now, JP Morgan has been moving hundreds of billions of dollars and pounds out of the UK market towards Frankfurt. And many markets, including Frankfurt, Amsterdam and other big cities in Europe, are looking to kind of steal a march on London really as a financial centre. Now, we don't know what's going to happen, although we can be assured of a number of things. Number one, whilst there's uncertainty in the market, more firms are going to do this. Number two, even if the UK, and by the way, this is not a political video, it's not about Brexit, if it's good or bad thing, but even if the UK does get loads and loads of good trade deals like we did with Japan, it is going to take a number of years, even in the best case scenario, to make up for the trade we're going to lose, probably partially because of, with the EU, because as trade becomes less frictionless, we're probably going to lose a little bit of our trade there. So more firms might decide to do this, and that leads me to number three, and that's the pound could become more volatile. I don't know where the pound's going to be in 10 or 15 years or in 5 years, but the pound could go up or down. We don't really know, but I think there's going to be more volatility in the pound even compared to what we've seen more recently. So we could see some big spikes up or down. But this then leads me to what should British people do with their money, especially expats. Now, one thing I have seen time and time again in the last 10 years or so overseas is that 13 years ago, the pound was 2 to 1 against the dollar. Now it's £1 buys 1.3 approximately dollars, and against the euro, the pound's also struggled. This has came during a period where interest rates have been close to zero, so many British people have effectively lost a big amount of their money, essentially doing nothing with their money. Because you take it, if somebody had £200,000 in the bank 13 years ago, they've had close to 0% interest rates for 13 years, and the pound has gone down by 30% or more, well, about 40% against the dollar, 35% or so. So indirectly, many people have lost about 50 or 60% of their money to a combination of inflation and currency devaluation. So I think no matter what happens, nobody can predict the currency markets. The pound might go to 1 to 1 against the dollar, parity or less, or it might surge up. Who knows? We might see 2 to 1 against the dollar sometime in our lifetime again. We can't be sure. But for the average British expat overseas in particular, unless they're sure they want to actually retire in the UK, it's always better to invest in a combination of funds which are investing all around the world to kind of protect your assets. Because the last thing that people should want to do, especially if they're expats, and this isn't just for British people, this is across the world, is to put all of the eggs in the home country's basket. That can lead to some big losses, and I think we've seen that the last 10 or 15 years, not just in the UK, but in some other markets as well. I mean, South African clients have lost a lot if they've just kept money in rands, and we could go on and on around the world. So this isn't just a British thing entirely, it's something that expat investors should be very much aware of all around the world. Okay, everyone, I've got some really exciting news today. So for a couple of years now, many people have asked me, well, look, I can't afford your minimum investments, but I really like your advice. I don't know if you can do this or you can do that, or you can help me in that way, or you can't help me in that way. I've always said, no, I can only do this or that, but I've got some really exciting news, and that's that in a couple of months before the end of the year, I will be bringing out what I'm calling the Adam File Academy, which will have many new areas which will be of interest to people. So things like mentoring, tutoring, all those kind of things that people have asked me for in the past. So stay tuned. I'm going to be announcing it in the next few months, but I thought I would tell it to you guys before. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you're looking for in this academy. We're going to be focusing on many different areas, including how to invest productively, also some business areas, because that's another thing people have asked me about before. So stay tuned, and I'll keep you up to date.